Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hoovy186 back again with another video. And yesterday, my beloved Florida Marlins fired Ozzie Guillen, their manager. They fired him yesterday, and this is going to be the fourth manager Jeffrey Loria, who is the owner of the Marlins, has gone through since 2006. Now, just to recap for people who don't know, Joe Girardi, the current manager of the New York Yankees, his first managerial job was with the Marlins. It was his first and only year. He turned a team that really was expected to do absolutely nothing. And I don't know if they had a winning season, but they were definitely a team that severely overachieved. So he won Manager of the Year. Unfortunately, management and Girardi had some issues, so they fired him. Then they had, who's the next person they had? Then they had Freddie Gonzalez, who's the current manager for the Atlanta Braves, who currently is the winningest manager in Marlins history. Apparently, he had one bad year. The Marlins had one bad year under his tenure, and then he got fired. Then they hired Edwin Rodriguez, who was their he was a minor league manager in the Marlins system. They promoted him up after Freddie got fired, and then a year later, technically a year later, he got fired. So obviously this year, they had this past year, they hired Ozzie Guillen. I remember this happening in the old ballpark, where they were talking about how it was going to be a new start, and all that other stuff going into the new ballpark. So, basically what happened, they pretty much, after the whole ballpark opened up, basically had a horrible season. A bunch of guys that underperformed, and they finished last place in the division. And then you hear some stuff going on between Heath Bell and Ozzie Guillen, and next thing you know, Ozzie Guillen is fired. Now, this video is not a pro Ozzie Guillen video. What this is an anti Marlins management video, because ultimately, when it comes to it, if you have to go through four managers in 6 years, you fire four of them in 6 years, ultimately it starts at there's a common denominator here, and that's the owner, Jeffrey Loria. The same guy who signed Heath Bell. He's the one that signed Heath Bell. Ozzie didn't sign Heath Bell. According to what I've been hearing, Larry Beinfest, who was the general manager, did not technically sign him. It was Jeffrey Loria. He's also the guy who signed John Buck, who is as far as major league catchers is concerned, offensively, he's perhaps the worst catcher in the league offensively. Loria signed him, the owner, not the general manager, not the manager, the owner. And when you have to go through four firings in 6 years, after there's only so long you can live off of 2003, which was the last year the Marlins won the World Series, and it was the last time they went to the playoffs. You can live on 2003 for so long when you look at the ultimate problem with this Marlins team starts at the very top with this piss poor management. Now, if let me break it down for you guys, because obviously the World Series is about to start in a few hours. It's between the Tigers and the Giants, and basically, look at the Tigers. Their success, they've succeeded off of our failures. Think about this. Miguel Cabrera, Triple Crown winner. First Triple Crown winner in, I believe, in almost half a century. Wait. Yeah, 100 years is a century. Yeah. Oh man. I think it is. I'm sorry, people. I just woke up. I'm kind of woozy. Anyways, first Triple Crown winner in half a century. That dude used to play for the Miami Marlins. I mean, well, at the time, Florida Marlins. Dude was a rookie sensation. Hits a home run off of Roger fucking Clemens in the World Series. A couple years later, things happen. He gets traded. Now, he got traded. Miguel Cabrera got traded to the Tigers from Florida for two of the top prospects in Major League Baseball at the time. It was Andrew Miller and Cameron Maybin, who now plays for the Padres. Now, I don't know where the fuck Andrew Miller is, but obviously that was one of the worst trades, perhaps in the history of baseball. And while I can't completely blame the Marlins for doing what they did, because at the time they weren't giving out $1 million contracts, so he was gonna have to leave. He was going to leave, one way or another. But they ultimately got nothing out of that deal. Like I said before, Andrew Miller, I don't know where the fuck he is. Cameron Maybin, he's in San Diego right now. Both men did jack shit when they were here. So you look at that trade, how fucking pathetic that trade was. And then you look at the signing of, you look at the situation with Hanley Ramirez, who now plays third base for the Los Angeles Dodgers. After a couple great years, he started to play like shit. They haven't drafted anybody of relevance over the past 10 years, with the exception of Mike Stanton. And all their first round draft choices. Look at what Washington did to build their team. Like you have Ryan Zimmerman, I believe was a top draft pick for the Washington. Obviously, everyone knows about Steven Strasburg and Bryce Harper. You know what I'm saying? And you look at the Marlins, 10 years of shitty fucking first round draft picks that the Marlins has gone through. But yet, Larry Beinfest, the GM, the guy who is I believe is in charge of that, is still keeping his job. He's making the rounds right now, talking about the Ozzie Guillen firing. It's sad to see how pathetic this franchise still is after they started making the initiative to spend more money. And when you see how where was I at? And you see how many managers they've been through over the past 6 years. Who the hell would want that job? Before they couldn't sign guys because they cost too much. Now they're just paying guys to leave. Heath Bell, they had to pay I think $8 million of his remaining of his contract just to trade his ass to Arizona. And the same thing for Ozzie Guillen. They're paying him to leave too. They're paying him to basically go away. Man, as a manager, who the hell would want that job when you have a bipolar owner at the front and a bunch of guys up at the top who don't know what the fuck they're doing? Like, man, it's a bad time to be a Marlins fan, man. Like, it really is. Anyway, this video's gone on long enough, man. Movie 186. I'm out.